Hello, you guys, and welcome to my cozy and ambitious April TBR. I didn't do a March TBR video because I was reading House of Sky and Breath when the month started, and I was not making very fast progress on that book. And then suddenly it was mid-March and I was still reading it, and I didn't really have any idea of what I wanted to read for the rest of March, and suddenly it was the end of March and I just finished House of Sky and Breath. So I never made a March TBR. I did finish one other book in March, which was Windfall by Jennifer E. Smith, and I really enjoyed it, and I thought the lucky vibes kind of fit St. Patrick's Day vibes, so I'm glad I got to that in March. Then I was really motivated to read, and I started What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera, and I really loved this book. And now I'm going to jump into my official April TBR. I have quite a few books, not like a ton. I have 6 books on my list officially for April, which is doable. I'm already halfway done with the first book on my list, which I'll talk about in a second, so that is looking good. But without further ado, let's talk about my April TBR. The first book, my current read, is Going Bovine by Libba Bray. This book has been sitting on my bookshelf for a really long time, and I told myself I was going to get to it in early 2022, and I am reading it. I'm a little over halfway done. It's not my favorite thing I've ever read, but I think is definitely worth finishing, and I am enjoying. It has some really interesting conversations about death and about life and about friendship and all that other stuff, so I am really enjoying it. It's also a little bit like whimsical and goofy, which is not something I expected in a book about death, but it is something I expected based on reading the back of the book. So I'm just gonna read the back to tell you what it's about, because I think it also describes the tone of the book really well alongside what actually happens. So it says, all 16-year-old Cameron wants is to get through high school and life in general with a minimum of effort, but that's before he's given some bad news. He's going to die. Hope arrives in the winged form of Dulcie, a loopy punk angel / possible hallucination with a bad sugar habit. She tells Cam there's a cure, if he's willing to go in search of it. With the help of Gonzo, a death-obsessed video gaming dwarf, and a yard gnome who might just be the Viking god Balder, Cam sets off on the mother of all road trips through a twisted America into the heart of what matters most. I'll talk more about my in-depth thoughts about it in my wrap-up video, but yeah, this is the first book I am reading in April. The rest of my books on my list are a little bit all over the place as far as genre and tone and all of that. So next up we have A Vow So Bold and Deadly. Please don't mind the stickers. I hate the stickers. I don't know why they think putting stickers on books is a good idea, but I hate it. Like, even the Target one, which is usually fairly easy to take off, is very sticky and ugh. Anyway, by Bridget Kemmerer. This is the 3rd book of the Cursebreaker trilogy. I'm excited to get to it. The next book on my TBR is The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. This is another one that's been sitting on my bookshelf for quite a while and I really wanted to get to. And this book is basically about the normal people. So it's like the synopsis says, what if you aren't a chosen one? And it sounds like it's just about finding the beautiful moments in normal life. I don't know if I did it justice. I don't know that much about this book, but I'm excited to give it a try. It's pretty short, so I think it should be pretty fun to fly through this one. Next up, I have The Near Witch by V.E. Schwab. I will literally read anything V.E. Schwab has written, and I believe this was her first novel, if I'm remembering correctly. It sounds really interesting, and I also love the idea of reading an author's early writing and then having a chance to read their later writing as well and seeing how they have changed and how their writing has changed. So I read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and it was one of my favorite books ever. So I'm really excited to read some earlier writing that V.E. Schwab has put out as well. This one follows our main character, Lexi. A boy appears outside her home one night and mysterious things start to happen, and she thinks it might be related to a fairy tale story about a witch that she heard as a child, and I think it sounds like a really interesting premise, and I'm thrilled to get to this one. Next up, I have a book that I truly don't know if I will be in the mental state to get to at any point in April, but I have been wanting to read it for so long, and that is A World Without You by Beth Revis. It's supposed to kind of tackle grief and mental illness and talk about family and all of that in a very poignant way, so I'm excited to get to this one. It follows our main character, Bo, who believes he can time travel. Bo falls in love with this girl named Sophia, and then one day she commits suicide, and Bo does not believe she is truly dead, and he thinks he left her somewhere in the past and thinks he has to save her. So it sounds like this one might break my whole heart, but I have been wanting to read it for a really long time, and I think it is finally time to give it a read. Lastly, on my TBR for April, I have Wilder Girls by Rory Power. I've heard a lot about this story, but I actually don't know that much about it. So it takes place at a school, and everyone at the school is slowly being infected by the tox. So it sounds like first the teachers start to die off, and then the students start to get infected with the tox. That is it for my April TBR. I hope I can get to all of these books. I have really been in a reading mood lately and seem to only want to read, so that is a good mindset to be having when you have a long TBR list. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like it if you did, comment below what you are planning to read for the month of April, and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. See you next time!